this video is going to be nothing to do with music videos, no reaction video. This is going to be strictly about Tesla and the latest software update that I have received in my car. It's been a good while since I've taken the time to do one. And the video I got, or not the video, I'm so used to saying video reaction. Alright, the software update I got was 2022.24.6. And in the software update, as you can see here, right here, somewhere around me, is the software update was Tesla profiles, blind spot camera, disable Sentry sounds, and driver's profiles. Now, according to the definition, as you see on the screen here, the driver's profile is any navigation, recent or favorites will now be saved to the active driver's profile. Did not realize it didn't do that before. Then the other one, as you see here next to me, is disable Sentry sound. Now, according to this, it says to prevent disturbing neighbors, you can now disable the sounds made by Sentry mode. Mobile app notifications will be delivered. To enable this setting on the touchscreen, tap Control, Safety, Sentry mode, disable Sentry sound. Now, for me, this makes no sense. I understand their intention. You don't want to disturb the people. But on the flip side, the reason why you want to make sound is to draw attention, so somebody will look. And in doing so, the person will notice what is going on with your car, like somebody's breaking into it or is trying to steal your car. That is the point of making a sound, to get your people's attention. So disabling it, great, you didn't disturb any, but then nobody might not even be noticing that your car is being ransacked or taken away. So for me, I'm leaving it as I have it as it is now. But it's nice to see that they gave that option to people. So let's see what the next one is, which is a blind spot camera. Now this one, I love, of all the software update that I've got recently, I am so glad for this one. Alright, this one by definition says, adjust the placement of your blind spot camera on your display by changing the camera feed. Let me rephrase that. By dragging the camera feed. The camera feed will appear in the same position when your blinker is active. To enable, tap Control, Autopilot, Automatic Blind Spot Camera. Now, I love this for many reasons. When they had the software update where when you turn your signal on, the camera, whichever, left or right you're going, would turn on. And that was good. I liked it because it does help cut down the blind spot. The thing I did not like was that where the camera was located on the screen. And that did bug me. And I remember thinking to myself that I wish it was placed somewhere else on the screen, because when you have your hand on the wheel, and if you're driving correctly as you're supposed to be taught, it's 9 and 3, something like that, left side, right side. Well, if your hand is there and you have your signal going left or right, well, this hand, if you have your car steering wheel is on the left side of the car, not the right side, your hand blocks the view of the camera that's on your screen. And that did annoy me quite a bit. And then they came out with this update, and I was so happy. And I'm gonna put the video. I recorded a video of me moving the screen around. So let me see if I have it here. Okay, all right. So here we go. Watch this. See how it's so smooth how it is? And just for a goof, I pulled it down to see if it would go there, and it obviously it doesn't. It just goes to those 3 positions. But I like that, and that's where I normally keep my display now, is up there right under the navigation part of the display. And so that was a very, very, very good improvement that they did. It's nice to see that maybe a lot of people said something to Tesla and they listened, which most of the time they do listen, and maybe enough people said something that they improved on something that they had improved on before. And the last one is Tesla Profiles. Tesla Profiles says, keep your settings and preference synchronized across all supported vehicles using your Tesla account, including mirror settings and steering wheel adjustments, autopilot, driving, and climate control preference, navigation, media, and data sharing preference. You can set up your Tesla profile from driver profile settings and change your profile picture from the Tesla mobile app. I do not have more than one Tesla. Not everybody that owns a Tesla is rich. But in any case, but that is a good thing to have if you happen to have multiple Teslas. And I think for a good while people were making comments about that, how it would be nice if you could just do that. And Tesla finally has come out with that capability. So I like that. I like that a lot. If I had more than one Tesla, I would really like it. But again, of all the 4 updates that they've done, the blind spot camera is my favorite by far. Okay, now we're going to get into a little bit of politics, and I apologize for those that are not going to want to hear this. And if you don't, then please, you can stop now, and I hope you have a wonderful day. For those that are still watching, okay, what I'm talking about is I'm going to show you here a clip of what is he called? Minority. I don't know if he's senator or Congress or congressman. I think he's senator. Mitch McConnell. Not a fan of him, but I just wanted to post this because I think what he says is so true, and it's kind of funny, really, if you think about it. But so here we go. Watch this.
So California Democrats don't want you putting gas in your car. They don't want you to plug in your car either. That's exactly where their war on energy would leave the American people, going nowhere fast.
So the reason I bring that up is this. I have a Tesla. I love my Tesla. And I hope everyone has a chance to own one, or any EV, I suppose. But I've only experienced being an EV, a Tesla EV, and I love the thing to death. But I don't agree with what California is doing, because the government is forcing people to buy EVs, and that's stupid. It should be the way the market should determine that. If people want to own it and they can afford it, great. But to mandate it is wrong. The government should never be mandating a lot of things, but it's stupid. The reason I say it's stupid is just this example we just watched, Slow McConnell there, is right now I think it's like only 1% of EV owners are in California. And they're having apparently a power, they're not producing enough power. And so they're asking, or basically strongly suggesting to people in California to not turn on their AC at certain times, or have it set at 78 degrees, which is stupid. And they're also asking people to not plug in major appliances in cars. So their electric system right now cannot handle 1% of EVs in their state. But yet they're going to demand people by 2028, half the cars that are being sold brand new in California have to be EVs. And by 2035, they all have to be EVs. Insane. If you can't handle 1%, how are you going to be able to handle more than 1%? It's ludicrous. It's stupid. They should upgrade their electric system first. That would have been the smart thing to do. Tesla was smart. Tesla, while they're building the car, they were building their infrastructure. They knew that if they want to convince people to go electric and to show that the car is not the stereotypical EVs that can go only so many miles a day, and it's not, that it's slow. It's not. They're showing that it's fast. That's the reason they made it go fast, to break the stereotype. And they knew that if they wanted to be able to show people, hey, you can take this car on a trip. That's why they built the superchargers. I've taken my car 3 times across the United States. Got in San Diego, Colorado, Connecticut to Florida. Then I went Florida, California. Then from California, Colorado, back to Florida. And I had no problem. Zilch. But that would not have been possible if Tesla did not build an infrastructure. These knuckleheads we have in California, how is it the saying go? You're putting the cart before the carriage, or something like that. Basically, they're saying you need to do this, but now they got to play catch up, build the infrastructure that can handle that. And if they don't build the infrastructure to handle that, well, guess what? It's going to be a disaster. And a lot of these politicians that made this, honestly, I don't even know if it's a law yet, but based on what the news keeps talking about, it is. And it's dumb. Now, if they built the infrastructure that can handle it, they wouldn't have power outages. And yeah, okay, then you could say it would basically convince people, okay, we can absorb having EVs. But they're not. They're doing away with nuclear power plants. You need power plants. The way they make them now is much safer and definitely cleaner. Ideally, you want to have solar panels on your roof, have a Tesla battery pack. You treat your house as its own, for its own source of power. That's great. That's less drain on the electric grid. But again, government should not be demanding people to do this. Just the other day, Newsom gave a video, or put out a video, of him explaining to people when the government says you should turn on your air conditioning and when you should turn it off. He was saying this while he was wearing a flannel shirt or jacket or whatever you want to call that thing. He was wearing something to keep him warm in California. And if it just didn't look good, It's like he's in a room where it's cold enough that he needs to wear something other than a shirt. But he's telling everybody else to do this. It's the elites against everyone else, is basically what it comes down to it. Regardless of political party, it's the elites against everybody else. Do as I say, not as I do. As everybody knows, that knucklehead governor in California went to a nice fancy restaurant during the pandemic, and yet everybody else could not go and eat indoors. Oh, no. But he went to apparently it was the most expensive restaurant in the state, and he got caught. But that's not the first time. Again, it's do as I say, not as I do. Government should not be telling people what to do on most things. There's a time and place for the government. This is not it. And by the way, there's nothing stopping people from going out of the state, buy a car, brand new car, and moving back into Florida, driving it back into California. Unless they make some other rule about that. And the other thing is, think about how many jobs are going to be lost. How many gas stations that are basically mom and pop, most of them are mom and pop owned. If this actually goes through, and it's not going to happen overnight, because there's still going to be people that own gas cars. But eventually, as the cars become harder to maintain, they will not be replaced with gas cars. So when that finally does take place, there's going to be less need to go to gas stations, which then hurts the gas stations, which again is not owned, most of them are not owned by huge companies. They're actually middle income families that own it. So they're going to be screwed. In any case, I apologize for those that, no, I don't apologize. That's just how I see it. Everybody has the right to their opinion. Unlike the woke, I'm not part of that. Thank God, I'm not part of that generation. I'm okay with hearing different points of view. Do I know everything? No, I don't. But I do know this much, that everyone has their right to their opinion. So, in any case, I'll get off my soapbox now. You guys have a wonderful day or night. Take care of yourselves.